6 World Cups, 10 goals, EU trophies, Cristiano Ronaldo has conquered every mountain football has to offer, except one, and at 41 years old, he's arrived at his final World Cup with something he's never had before, a team that doesn't need him, and that is exactly why he might finally win it. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Dreamed. Portugal doesn't produce Cristiano Ronaldos. It's a small country. 10 million people, perched on the edge of Europe, staring out at the Atlantic. It has produced great footballers, Eusebio, Figo, Deco. But it had never produced a man who decided, at 10 years old, that he would become the greatest of all time. Madeira, a small island off the coast of Portugal. A boy named Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro kicks a ball against the walls of a cramped housing estate. The neighbors complain about the noise. He doesn't stop. He was skinny, dangerously skinny. At Sporting Lisbon's academy, they put him on a special diet. The other boys were bigger, stronger, faster. Coaches whispered that his heart raced too fast, a condition that could end his career before it began. He had surgery. He came back. This is the thing about Cristiano Ronaldo that most people miss. It was never about talent. It was about a refusal, a pathological, almost frightening refusal to accept limits. At 18, he signed for Manchester United. At 19, he was playing in a European Championship final on home soil. Portugal lost. He wept on the pitch. A child crying in front of millions. He would not forget that feeling. Chapter 2. 6 World Cups, 1 obsession. 2006. Germany. A 21-year-old Ronaldo steps onto the World Cup stage. Portugal reaches the semi-finals. He scores 1 goal, a penalty against Iran. The world sees flashes, nothing more. 2010. South Africa. Portugal exits in the round of 16 to Spain. 1 goal, a deflection against North Korea. Ronaldo spits at a cameraman. Frustration, restlessness. He is 25. Time is still on his side. 2014. Brazil. Portugal crashes out in the group stage. Ronaldo plays through a knee injury that would have sidelined anyone else. 1 goal against Ghana. He is 29, the prime of his career, and still the World Cup feels impossibly far away. 2018. Russia, the hat-trick against Spain, that free kick. The eyes, the breath, the world holds still. 3 goals, all of them spectacular, including a late equalizer from a free kick that is now immortal. Portugal goes out to Uruguay in the round of 16. 4 goals in the tournament. But 4 goals are not enough. 2022. Qatar. This was supposed to be the one. Portugal had talent. Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, João Felix. A squad deep enough to challenge anyone. They stormed through the group. Ronaldo scored against Ghana, becoming the first man to score in 5 World Cups. History again. Then came Switzerland in the round of 16. The manager, Fernando Santos, benched him. Cristiano Ronaldo, the captain, the icon, the man who had carried Portugal for nearly 2 decades, sat on the bench while a 21-year-old named Gonçalo Ramos scored a hat-trick. Portugal won 6-1. Ronaldo clapped. He smiled for the cameras. And inside, something broke. Morocco in the quarter-finals. Ronaldo came off the bench. Nothing. Portugal lost. The cameras caught him walking down the tunnel alone. Tears. Not the tears of a 19-year-old losing a Euros final. The tears of a man who knows time has run out. He walked past the World Cup trophy without looking at it. Everyone thought that was the end. Chapter 3. The Scar. But football doesn't care about scripts. After Qatar, Ronaldo did what nobody expected. He went to Saudi Arabia. Al Nassr, a league the world mocked. A retirement home, they said. A payday, they said. The end of relevance. He scored 35 goals in his first full season, then 28 in the next. 129 goals in 148 matches. At 38. At 39. At 40. The Saudi League wasn't the Premier League. Everyone knew that, but the numbers were impossible to ignore. The man was still outscoring players half his age. More importantly, he was still moving, still sharp, still hungry, still furious. And then something changed. Roberto Martinez took over the Portugal national team. He didn't bench Ronaldo, he built around him. He understood something Santos didn't, that Ronaldo at 40 doesn't need to press for 90 minutes. He needs to be in the box at the right moment when it matters most. Portugal qualified for the 2026 World Cup. Comfortably, Ronaldo scored goals. He led. He didn't just participate, he dominated. The critics said the same things. He's too old, he's too slow. Portugal has better options. He didn't respond. He let his numbers speak. Chapter 4, The Final Dance, June 2026. The World Cup arrives in North America. Cristiano Ronaldo is 41 years old. He has scored 28 goals for Al Nassr that season. He is leaner than he was in Qatar, sharper, and standing behind him is something he has never had in 6 previous attempts. A team that doesn't depend on him. This is the cruel paradox of Ronaldo's World Cup story. For 2 decades, Portugal needed him to be superhuman. Every attack ran through him, every big moment fell on his shoulders. When he failed, Portugal failed, and the weight of a nation crushed him. Not this time. Bruno Fernandes is 30, in his prime, one of the best playmakers in world football. Bernardo Silva, also 30. A Champions League winner, a Premier League legend, a man who can control the tempo of any match with the elegance of a conductor. Behind them, Vitinha, João Neves, Ruben Neves, the best midfield group at the entire tournament. Rafael Leão on the wing, explosive, unpredictable, a nightmare for defenders. Gonçalo Ramos, the man who replaced Ronaldo in Qatar, now playing alongside him. Ruben Dias anchoring the defense. Diogo Costa in goal, one of the most exciting young keepers in the world. This is Portugal's golden generation 2.0. Figo and Rui Costa had their moment in 2004. This squad is deeper, more balanced, more dangerous, and at the center of it all, a 41-year-old man who no longer has to carry the weight alone. Portugal enters the tournament. Ronaldo scores. He becomes the first player in history to score in 6 different World Cups. 6 tournaments, 6 goals across 6 editions. A record that may never be broken. But records mean nothing if the cabinet is missing the one that matters. Chapter 5. Can he do it? So the question is no longer about whether Ronaldo can perform. He has answered that. 28 goals at age 40, a World Cup goal at 41. The first man in history to score across 2 decades of World Cup football. The question is whether everything else falls into place. Portugal has the squad. That is no longer in doubt. The midfield can control any game. The defense is solid. The attack has variety, speed, creativity, and the most lethal finisher the sport has ever known. But here's the thing about the World Cup. It doesn't reward talent. It rewards patience. It rewards resilience. It rewards the moments that cannot be predicted or planned. A deflection, a refereeing decision, a penalty shootout. One moment of genius, one moment of disaster. Ronaldo knows this better than anyone. He has lived every version of World Cup heartbreak. The semi-final loss as a young man, the group stage exit in his prime, the quarter-final tears as an aging legend. And now the path is clear. Croatia in the round of 32, a dangerous team, but one Portugal should beat. Beyond that, the bracket unfolds. Argentina looms as a potential opponent. France, Brazil, the giants of world football. But Portugal is a giant now too, and here is what makes this different from every other Ronaldo World Cup. He doesn't have to be the hero. Bruno can create, Bernardo can control, Leão can destroy, Neves can dominate, and Ronaldo only needs to do what he has done 900 times before. Be in the right place, at the right moment, and finish. 1 goal in a knockout match. 1 moment of the old magic. 1 header, 1 penalty, 1 strike, and the narrative of a career transforms. If Portugal wins the World Cup, Ronaldo becomes the oldest player to ever lift the trophy. He completes the one achievement his greatest rival has, and he doesn't. He doesn't just win, he redeems Qatar 2004, every tear, every walk past a trophy he couldn't touch. This isn't about legacy. He told Piers Morgan the World Cup doesn't define him, and maybe it doesn't. Maybe 900 goals, 5 Ballon d'Or, 5 Champions Leagues, a European Championship, maybe that's enough. But we all know the truth. The World Cup doesn't just create champions, it creates ghosts, and Cristiano Ronaldo has been haunted for 20 years. Chapter 6. Legacy. Can you be the greatest of all time without winning the World Cup? It is the question that has defined an era. Messi answered it in 2022, in the most dramatic final the sport has ever seen. Ronaldo watched. He had to watch, and now at 41, he gets one more chance. Not because he is owed it. The World Cup owes nobody anything. Eusebio never won it. Cruyff never won it. The game's cruelest truth is that greatness and glory are not the same thing. But because for the first time in his career, Cristiano Ronaldo has a team around him that is ready to carry him to the summit. Not carry him as a passenger, but carry him as a weapon, a finisher, a legend who needs only one touch, one header, one penalty kick to change everything. The boy from Madeira who was told he was too small. The teenager with the racing heart who had surgery to save his career. The man who wept at Euro 2004 and said he would return. The 33-year-old who scored a hat-trick against Spain with the eyes of the world on him. The 37-year-old who walked past the trophy in Qatar, head down, tears falling. The 41-year-old who is still here, still fighting, still believing. Portugal faces Croatia, then the path continues. One match at a time, one moment. One goal, one victory. The World Cup doesn't care about scripts. It doesn't care about sentiment. It doesn't care that the greatest goal scorer in football history has never touched its golden surface with both hands and lifted it to the sky. But sometimes, just sometimes, the story writes itself. Follow UBTV for more legendary sports stories.